that like, yeah, well, I mean, I know for me, I needed to understand how to live. I've never known how to live.
So I was thinking about this yesterday, right? So I've been reading a lot of different books right now from like, some of the stuff has made me very uncomfortable. And some of the stuff has been like on the other side of that uncomfort, right? Like, okay, cool. Like I understand I understand what this author's talking about. But like there's a fundamental not error, but like misrepresentation of like how to change or like how to have a new experience, right? And it's like putting something on top of something that can't, and what's like the baseline layer isn't like, I'm not even aware of what that is. And so I'm going to put something else on top of that I'm going to strive for, that I'm going to look to create. And I don't have the ability to actually do it because I'm not out of the way of it yet. I don't even know where I am.
Yeah.
I don't even know what's going on. Right. And that's where like the self-help books and like all this stuff, it sort of goes into that winding fucking useless sort of journey where like it feels good. Yeah. This makes sense, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, like 2 weeks later, I'm back doing the same bullshit that I hate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm just doing it again.
The difference between a new set of habits and a true transformation on a deeper level, it automatically leads to the new behavior, which doesn't have to be practiced or done through effort, but it happens because I am that now. That
100%
is more important than a new habit.
100%. 100%. And like I recognize that, like there I am in the forest, like that I'm right there. Like that is where in the world, like that is it, right? Like yeah, and it's crazy because like I can't imagine that there's people that take good information and even do anything with it,
Here, let me present this. Let me present this and hear what you guys think, okay?
Yeah.
So Reed, I clicked one of the Rupert Spira videos in that email list that we're on. And one of the questions that the audience member had to this dude was like super genuine. And like it was truly, I thought, because I was pooping at the time. I was on the toilet, right? And I'm hearing this audio play through my phone. I don't know where it came from. I must have accidentally clicked the video. And I thought the person talking was Rupert Spira because the question had so much depth and substance to it. It literally was an answer. The question was an answer. And I was like, what's going on? How do I get rid of this video? I don't want to listen to stuff while I'm pooping. Like I want to read my my RPG newsletters. And I go to it, and Spira's sitting on the podium, and I saw that it was someone in the audience asking him something. And his response, it was interesting. I was not interested in his response at all the moment he started talking. It was almost like he was just rephrasing words that didn't really mean anything. And yeah, I bring that story up because it's a trap that Reed discussed earlier this week during the group of like the teacher, the person with the answers, following the guru, right? Yeah, I guess I want to know what your guys' thoughts are.
What was the context?
The context?
Yeah. So like he was talking, like he was, what was the answer, or what was he?
He started seeing the world being a manifestation of the big self or God or the allness or the Tao. He was basically saying, my experience seems to be that I'm blending in with the material in a world of substanceless substance, where it's all this one cohesive expression. And I recognize that I'm seeing objects in my environment, and I can, I can think and know that I'm looking at this phone or this computer, but underneath it all, everything feels like some weird melodic expression of something. Like I'm seeing these things now. He was basically sharing that with Roops. Let's call him Roops.
Yeah. What was his question though? Like, what do I do about it? What did he say?
how he was basically asking how he integrates, like, how do I integrate this into my day-to-day routine? And they're like, how do I understand it?
That's the, I think that's the poison right there. That's like, there's no problem except his desire, he thinks he needs to know what to do with it, and that someone else has an answer for that. Like, why? That is the problem, that I'm asking questions about it. Essentially, like, there's nothing to, I'm creating something to solve. Why doesn't it stop there? But it's there's no need for a question or an answer.
Well, yeah, so it's more like it's more like what like the scales have fallen from my eyes, and it's like, oh, that's what this is. Like, it's not a matter of how do I integrate with this. It's more like, oh, that's what this is. Like, that's how this stuff, that's how it works. Like, that experience answered my question.
Right. But he's stuck, he's in a place where he's,
Yeah.
you know, Roops is the teacher and he's got the answers, or I don't know. But maybe there's, so I was, you know, reading a book by Adyashanti, and he kind of talks about this stuff too, but from a practical standpoint, like, he talks about, you know, the awakening or coming into awakening or whatever is not, you know, isn't the thing. Like, the thing is, you know, how then do I effectively integrate that into my daily living and my role in society, basically.
Yeah.
So that's, from that standpoint, yeah, there's some questions there. But again, that's the personal journey. Like, what is there else to do besides just be aware of what's happening? And then in that, it becomes apparent, you know, what it is, what to do, like what not to do. Like, I don't.
It's almost obvious.
Yeah.
Well, it goes back to the idea of just leave it alone. Like, when the thought occurs in your mind, leave it alone. Like, like, I just know, for me, like, I'm guilty of grasping onto things that are cool or I like, you know, and it's like, there's something in me that like, wants to hold on to things.
Yeah. That's the fun part, though. That's the comedic element of my life.
Yeah, it's like a tug of war with yourself.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, the way I see it for me is like, my skin is like double-sided tape. I'm like a big fucking sticky double-sided tape skin. And I'm just walking around, and like, everything is just latching onto me. Like, I'm stuck on the money, I'm stuck on the chick, I'm stuck on the job, I'm stuck, like, I'm just walking around in the world with all these like all these things like stuck to my whole thing, you know, just, and it's, you know, there's enough weight there where finally I'm like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
What, why am I so close to this? Like, dude, you just walked around with an extra 600 pounds.
There's also something I was thinking about with the dude in, I guess, in the darshan, or whatever you want to call the group, where the quote unquote guru sits at the podium, and then the audience, or I don't want to use the word followers. What's the right word to use here, or for someone who's learning from a teacher? Disciples? That's even feels too hardcore.
Doesn't it? The students doesn't work either. That's even worse.
People interested in Roop's message. Let's say that.
Mixed in with followers and disciples.
Yes. Zealots.
Yeah.
Mixed in with non-dualist zealots. I also kind of saw it as, you know, I'm taking the experience from this group and kind of integrating it in here, but like there's something like to know I don't need to be in the group, yet also feeling a strong desire to continue participating because of the human engagement and the enjoyment of discussing and sharing and participating in things that you're interested in. So like it very well could have been, it was just his opportunity to share his experience with someone who's also having an experience around people that are interested in experiencing.
Exactly. Exactly.
I want to meet one of these teachers in person just for the sole reason of seeing if there's anything to be experienced in their presence. And that would be it.
Yeah, I can.
Where are most of these people? Are they like in New York or?
New York, San Francisco generally seems to be the two places.
A couple people from out of the country too.
Yeah. Oh, are you talking about in the group?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure actually. Several from Canada. Generally it seems like a good mix all over, honestly. It doesn't seem to be heavily concentrated in one particular area.
How did you feel, Reed? How did you feel the other day when the person in the group asked you if you'd like to meet a teacher? Do you remember that? She asked you if you were interested in meeting her teacher.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, I have different responses to that, but yeah, sure, I'll meet a teacher, but I don't care. It doesn't mean anything to me. Like, although I would like to meet someone in person like that, but I didn't have much patience for that at the time. When she was asking that, I just I didn't have any patience for it. Like, and maybe that's me carrying like past experiences into something new, but
In some way, she was actually offering you an answer.
what do you mean?
Like, I think I'm just projecting here, but I think she might have saw your seeking. And so she came with her answer that she found for herself, which is this teacher.
Yeah, I don't want someone else's answer. That's the thing. Like, yeah, I'm seeking, but like, fuck your answer. Get the fuck out of here with giving me an answer. Like, why do you even think that would work? Like, I don't get that part. It's like anytime someone tries to prescribe a specific way to get a specific result, I just want to explode, like turn into stardust or something.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't express that idea with a straight face ever. But then, some people can and do, and I mean, that's just where I'm at now. Maybe I don't understand, or it doesn't make sense to me because it's not congruent with any of my experience. I get overly defensive about it, that's for sure, and it's become an idea for me, I guess. But it doesn't align with my experience. If there's something specific I can do for a specific result in the realm that we're interested in.
What about you, Pete?
What's that?
You ever how do you feel about teachers or mentors or people that help you come into a deeper sense of self?
Well, that wasn't the question I was answering.
What do you mean?
Well, I was talking about the idea of her giving me the answer.
Yeah.
But okay, I mean, what I have to say about teachers or mentors or whatever, that's a different question.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like, that's not.
I was interested in examining the resistance that I saw.
Yeah, there's a lot. It's because it's not congruent with my experience, but that's become an idea, and therefore part of kind of I've identified with that being true. So it's like I defend it being true.
Right.
But I don't have a problem with teachers or mentors or anything.
But the idea that someone has an answer.
Yeah, like a teacher can guide me back to myself, but as someone telling me like meditate this way for this many minutes a day, and these are the specific effects you'll experience, and or simply do this, and then you'll experience, and then further than that, go on to describe the feelings of unity I'm supposed to experience as well. Yeah, sorry.
No, that's spot on.
I get filled with so much hate when I start talking about this particular subject.
Can I ask where you think it's coming from?
Because I feel like I was tricked for that I just because it's just not true in that way. But yeah, like all of these books I've read and people I've listened to make it seem like, and I think I misunderstood or like missed what they were saying or something. But I just I wish they would say from the beginning, just be yourself and have your own experience, and genuinely look at things, and it'll come how it comes. But why does it bother me so much? Because I don't know what I don't know what they're talking about when they say stuff like that. I have no idea what they're talking about. Like why are they making that statement? I don't, it's not graspable to me. Like how, it's never been my experience that I could prescribe that to anyone in any way for anything. I don't understand why they speak with such authority about things that don't even exist. Like ultimately.
The thing that that's super interesting is it's almost, and I just know a few. I mean, I've studied a lot, but it seems that the people that are listening to them are the ones claiming the authority. The ones that are writing down the words, recording the stuff, the ones that are experiencing some transmission of Dharma are the ones that are like Krishnamurti literally just plays. He plays with people. He fucks with people. He literally just rephrases things to confuse people. But I've been guilty of the same thing of reading through it and saying, okay, now this is how I have to look at it. And this is how I have to be. And this is how I should see.
Yeah, they use all this like fancy language, like, freedom and shit like that. And to someone who's like struggling with a lot of stuff for a long time, that's a really enticing idea. But by becoming enamored with that idea, I misled myself further. And maybe it was a helpful crutch at the time, I don't know, but like that's kind of my beef with it. Like it sounds like someone is promising me a release from everything I'm suffering with, but that's not really what they're saying.
One of the saddest, happiest moments of my life was when I was in the pits. I just did not want to exist. And I was listening to a lot of Alan Watts and reading Bruce Lee. And what they had to say was true, yet I was totally trapped in my own misery. And there was literally nothing I could do. And it was the saddest, I remember the saddest moment / like happiest moment was not realizing, but being I was angry at them. I was angry at them because I was in this shitty space. They were giving me the truth and there was nothing I could do to access it. I was lost and I was miserable.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
It was a weird paradox to exist in. Because in the moment, I felt they were with me and laughing. Like they knew, yet there was nothing they could do.
Yeah, maybe so. It's in that sense, it's like I don't understand why they're talking at all. It's like if someone understands, then what they're saying makes sense. But then in that sense, there's no reason to say it. If someone doesn't understand, what they're saying is misleading. So why even say it?
And we come back to Pete's beautiful Joker metaphor is like, if you're embodying the Joker or the Tao, right? You just do things just get done. Things just get said.
So maybe what you said about the followers is true. Maybe it goes back to the people that around them that tend to elevate them and put them in these positions.
Dude, the worst thing that, like, Bruce Lee dies and all of a sudden everything he says is the gospel truth.
Okay.
We see that, don't we see that a lot with when people die, artists, musicians, Lennon, poets? Like Lennon's a great example too. All of a sudden I've got this idea in my head of who John Lennon is because the world has made him this thing. And then I watched the Beatles documentary. I go, oh, he's a bro, dude. Like I'd kick it with him. He's cool.
Well, yeah. I mean, it happens on Facebook too, with just shitty regular people. And they die, they become canonized by all these people who hated him while they were alive.
Hey, there's only 120 left on the meeting here.
Adam's not using the paid Zoom account.
Did
it on purpose.
Very much Jew. God bless you. I don't have a paid account.
How do you have podcasts? Do you just rejoin over and over?
Whenever I do I've never done it with more than one person.
Oh.
This is the first time.
Well, that's okay. We'll jump back to Pete after the break.
Jump into Pete.
TBC.
the business of being Pete.
Yeah, it's a wonderful business.
So how's it been, dude? I want to share something with you and we'll come back after we get cut out. But like, tell me if I'm wrong. I had this feeling that you were gone, dude. I didn't know where you were. Like, where were you?
Who, me?
Yeah, over the last like week or two.
I don't know.
So what we were asking Peter something?
Oh yeah, I was just wondering how the last couple of weeks had been. Because I think the last time we saw each other was at dinner. We were talking about, the games that we play.
Yeah.
And then you ghosted our chat.
Yeah, then you disappeared and I was like, is he alive? I don't know if he's alive or dead.
Yeah, that wasn't even intentional. I just didn't respond. Like I didn't know. I don't know. It was like yeah, I don't have any words to explain. I was just doing other stuff. So I was getting into this. I started reading a bunch of things, a bunch of different information, where yeah, it just sort of took me into a rabbit hole. It was a really intense 2 weeks. I finished 3 books and was just pumping stuff into the sponge, right? Like a lot of water into the sponge. And it's always uncomfortable because Reed was talking about the ideas and things that I have in my mind, which whether I like to believe it or not, I have ideas, and I have labels on things. And when I read things that wake me up to how I'm looking at something, it's uncomfortable. It is just uncomfortable. It's like, man, you've been so asleep to that. But I also, sort of dovetailing into what you guys were talking about prior, is I'm completely convinced that it's about the individual experience. Like, there's no one that can give me anything, right? Like, there's no answers. It's about me, right? It's about how am I experiencing my life individually. So it's like almost being open-minded in a way where like yeah, okay, give me all the stuff that you think, right? Like, share all that stuff with me, and then I'll take a look at it for myself. And it's not right or wrong. It's not like, oh, this is better than that. It's like, well, how do I look at this? How am I seeing this?
How does it feel when I use it? Like whatever suggestion or tool or idea is presented.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And it's, look, at the end of the day, Peter doesn't like looking at Peter. Like, I'm interested in it and I'm willing to do it, but there's still friction when I do that. There's still like, wow, I've been operating under that guise for for whatever, right? Like for whatever period of time, or, but then making it my own in a way, right? So that I can operate in the world and not be, victimized by what someone else thinks.
I'm getting comfortable. Like I've had a stretch of recently. I've several stretches of time where I'm just in a very agreeable space, and during that time, the resistance to looking at myself and examining things more deliberately, rather than kind of in the moment as they arise, is grown tremendously, because I think what occurred to me is that I don't want to uncover the fact that maybe any of the ideas I've been resting on that have led to this comfortable space might not be true.
Right.
I don't want to accidentally weaken the foundation of the comfortable space I'm in. But I also don't want to be in a comfortable space that's dependent on an external foundation of any kind, be it an idea framework or physical circumstances. But I still don't want to rock the boat.
Right.
So but when it's going shitty and internally I'm a mess, there's a much greater willingness to look, because it's weakening the foundation of what's keeping me in a negative place. I'll do that then.
Right.
I'm extremely hypocritical, it turns out. Or maybe, I don't know. Maybe that's just a normal brain.
I don't know. I mean, there's some sensitivity there, and I got to say, Peter, I think weren't you experiencing a little bit of discomfort before you dove into all this material?
Not like acutely. I mean, it was just, it's always interesting, right? Because it's like, why wasn't I able to look at this stuff last year, right? Or like the year before? It's just, it wasn't the right time or place for me to be interested in it. It's like the same thing that happened with with looking at the big book. Like, I sometimes think about how baffling that experience was, right? Like, I hung around this thing for so long and like knew about it, but like I couldn't see anything. And like the only thing that allowed me like to open the door was my experience. like my cyclical experiences, until finally something moved out of the way, and it was like, yes, of course. I get it. Like, I understand. I can see now.
Okay, I think I have something to share based on what you just said.
What?
I tried to bring this up in the group the other day, but the idea of standing up for yourself. So over the weekend, I got into a bit of some tension with a significant other, right? And all the old tricks came out. Like, she really knows how to press my buttons, dude. She knows where to get me where it hurts, right? And she went for she tried to go for the jugular with, well, I'm the problem, and the problem really is video games. I don't spend enough time. I'm not present enough because I'm always playing games. And it was just this first, it was a spontaneous frustration that occurred between us. And it was crazy in the moment, because I'm having the best weekend ever, dude. It's been New Year's where we've been spending time with family. It's been great. I don't even think I'd hardly touched any video games, but that's not even the point. The spontaneous occurrence of tension occurs. And I realize in that moment, I'm not interested in having this experience. Like, the temperature of the entire room, like everything changed in an instant. It was like going one way, then all of a sudden things are not okay. And it was wild, because I was like, I don't have to exist in this space. Like, even though she's there, I don't have to be there. You know what I'm saying? Like emotionally and mentally, I don't have to. There's nothing that, and this is where it got confusing in the non-duality group, of the idea of standing up for yourself, because I didn't realize that what I was doing, that I didn't choose to see any of this stuff while it was occurring. It just seemed to occur when I realized, wow, like, we just need some space, and I physically located, and it was crazy. And when she said the video game thing to me, and she brought it up for like a third time, and I felt nothing. It didn't make me angry. And that was the kicker. And that's when I realized that the foundation I'm standing on is truth, because there is nothing there. I don't care if I play video games or not. All the other times before, it elicited something, and I was like, okay, I got to look at this. Maybe I am. Maybe this is too much. Maybe this and that. But because I didn't have an internal, external, like, frustration towards that idea, it was just like, oh, yeah, I mean, I don't feel any which way that you say it's video games or not.
Yeah, but so there again, that's a perfect example of the individual experience. Like, where there isn't, I'm not hooked into someone else's emotional energy or their whatever their response is.
Yeah, and I've never been able to do that. I've always felt like I just need to take the whip and then go recollect myself and do examining and do more work and, like, try to solve it so it doesn't happen again. Like, I've always felt like I'm responsible for other people's feelings.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the fucking matrix. That's the machine. And that was never accurate in my experience. Like, it's not possible. It's not possible. Like, there's nothing I can do to get someone to feel different, or like make it go away, or like comply, like be compliant. Okay, yeah, sure. I understand. You're right. The example that I had was smoking cigarettes. I smoked a shitload of cigarettes, and it was always a fucking problem. Why are you smoking? You said you were going to stop, right? Rather than just saying, you know what? Look, I smoke cigarettes. I enjoy cigarettes. I enjoy having one when I have coffee in the morning. I enjoy having, 20 throughout the course of the day. This is what I do. I smoke cigarettes, right? And if it's not okay for you, which I completely get, you're the one that has to make a decision in relationship to that, because this is what I do. For now. That doesn't mean it's not going to change, but for today, I will be smoking cigarettes.
So to tie in with that, and to tie in with what Adam was saying, it seems that the foundation of truth you felt like in the moment being nothing. The foundation of truth is just being where I am at that moment. And in the moment, there's no, I don't need to play video games. I don't need to not, I'm not playing video games at that moment. It doesn't exist. Like you're in a conversation with someone, that's all. So like there's, if I can be where I am, none of the other shit gets dragged in. And then there's nothing that can harm me because I am what I am
when I am.
Yeah. And with this with the cigarette thing, like I've been experimenting with that recently and observing my reactions and thoughts while smoking. And I've played that whole game with myself too. The thoughts comes in, I shouldn't do this, or like, et cetera, et cetera. And then, accepting like right now I'm smoking a cigarette. And then, also seeing that the decision to quit doesn't happen anytime except in this particular moment. Like I'll be smoking a cigarette and my thought will be like, this is the last one. And I realize, no, I don't get to make that decision right now. That's a decision that has to happen in each moment anew. Like there's no such thing as what?
No, you're right.
I can't decide now that this is going to be my last cigarette for a time projected in the future. I can't make a decision now for something that may or may not come later. But in this moment, I can decide what and how I will be right now, I guess. I don't know.
No, I get what you're saying. I understand what you're saying, but like, it has to be all of my misery, most of my suffering and most of my misery wasn't even coming from me. It was coming from how the world and its people were performing in relationship to me. Like, yes, I was experiencing all of that crap inside of me and like all of those, rabid thoughts and, crazy stuff, like just like a fucking, bouncy ball, just, all over the place. But it was because I was so externally.
Well, you internalized the external world's reaction to your behavior.
Yes, I was a puppet. It was like, as soon as somebody did that, then I was doing that. Like I was being dominated in my life for so long. And like, even when I thought I was rogue, or even when I thought I was doing this, it was in relationship to what others were doing. Like,
yeah,
they're not performing a certain way, so like I'm going to isolate. Like, fuck them, I'm going to do this. Meanwhile, like I'm interested in being, it's just this huge paradox that takes place, and I just lived my whole life in this paradoxical thing until one moment, or one experience like showed me, dude, this is you. Like, this is actually you. This doesn't have anything to do with them. Like, this is what you're doing. And this is how you're operating in the world in relationship. There was no individual experience. It was a collective experience. And because it was collective, I wasn't able to experience any sort of connectedness, or like any sort of, like, I couldn't see anything. I couldn't see, because I wasn't looking at me. I was looking at you.
Yeah, you get so caught up in the world of form and the material and things and people and ideas, and you just get I just got whipped. You get whipped around.
Yeah, 100%. I get whipped around and I didn't have any ability to make any declaration for myself. I couldn't state things that were true for me, whether they were real or not. Like, it didn't matter. I didn't have any ability to say like, hey, you know what? I understand, but this is what I do.
Which is interesting, which is, I think what I was trying to look at was like the nature of truth. Because the nature of truth is when the video game idea is presented to me, I feel nothing. There is no repulsion or rejection or internal anger or like frustration. It's a nothingness.
Yeah,
It doesn't mean anything because I don't have an attachment to it.
right.
And
Right.
then, but like when you're getting whipped around by the world, everything means everything. And like, it's the weirdest thing. Like we talk about the term great reality or dharma or truth, and this thing being within you, this like to stand on the foundation of yourself for me is to stand on the foundation of what is. And that's what Reed described.
Yeah, so like I'm kind of in this seeing like another way to describe like standing on truth or embodying truth is just, and then the contrast between getting whipped around by the world and ideas is like here now there's nothing and I'm unaffected, but a millisecond into the future or the past, there's
Got ya.
I have these frameworks of thinking that must be defended because that's all the past and future are. But here, those don't exist. I can't have a framework about this moment. I've never experienced it before.
Yeah.
Like it's not possible. I know nothing. I know absolutely nothing about this moment at all. And I can't get any knowledge about it because it's irrelevant. It's not possible to gain knowledge or have foreknowledge.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah, and when I'm in that place of spinning my wheels, I'm not there. Like I'm not present in that. I'm either behind or forward
Well,
every time.
is it we're not there because what's occurring is in thought and
Yes.
they're in the
Yes.
past or the future, but
Yes.
I'm here and that's why it's like of course I'm not there.
Exactly.
I'm
Exactly.
here always.
Yeah.
It's not me that returns to the present. It's I mean I don't leave, but these
I've never left.
projections go into the past or the
Yeah.
future.
I've always been here. I've always been whatever now is. I've always been, that's it. Never been anywhere else.
So when we're acting in conflict, we're acting I mean, it's entirely based on a thought.
Yeah, so it's like this, right? Like something happens and then in my mind I'm going, "Oh, not this again." It's never been again.
Yeah.
But
Or
yeah,
like, "Oh, here we go. Here we go again. She's coming at me."
And that's why,
She's
and
coming
maybe
at
that's
me.
why it turns out similar,
Yes.
because I this is what it is. Automatic reaction, engage.
Bang. And I'm off. I'm just,
If I don't know what it is, I can't react the same.
yeah.
wow.
Exactly.
Yeah, maybe next time Melissa or no, significant other, um, maybe if something like that happens again, like what would it be like to view the occurrence as if it was something brand new that had never happened before?
That's the thing. I got super lucky. It all boils down to luck, I feel like, because it was so out of nowhere. I was totally unprepared for it. And so while it's occurring, I'm watching my body take movements in ways I'd never seen before.
Uh-huh.
I'd never actually been like, I'd never seen my body go, you know, like express that I'm not interested in going here with you right now, and then watch my body move to my bedroom. Like I've never seen that happen. Normally it's like, what can I do to help? How can we work through this? Blah, 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 blah. But it was like, I was like, what? Because like, I'm watching my body exit the kitchen, right? And the computer's over here. And I'm like, oh, I could go over there and just do a big fuck you and sit on the computer. And then miraculously, my body took a right turn upstairs. And I was like, oh yeah, I guess I'm going to the room. This is a great idea. Who came up with this?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow. How long did that interaction last?
It's interesting. It not very long, maybe an hour and a half until all the dust had settled.
Well, how long did it take you to move to the room?
Probably 15 minutes.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's what I've started noticing with all this stuff. I mean, I can trace it back to the beginning shows with Peter. It's really about duration, like the duration.
Yeah.
Like in the beginning, when I first started talking with Peter, I would have bouts of just pure angst and sadness and depression that would just spontaneously occur. And the more I engaged with this type of stuff, the less frequent they became. And then the duration at which they stayed was also less frequent. So it's almost like things pass through quicker. It's not about, it doesn't seem to be about getting better. It just, or like on quotes.
Less the time that we're holding on is shorter and shorter.
Yes, yes.
And then that it's just super practical and not mysterious at all.
Yes.
It's disappointingly practical.
Man.
It's not some secret.
Which makes it makes sense why I'm so into like fantasy stuff, right? And like playing characters and things like that, because it does create a level of excitement in an otherwise stable existence. That's why you can be a Sith and like for an hour or two, I have companion slaves that murder people for me.
Yeah. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about for me.
Having companion slaves that murder people.
Being a Sith.
Yeah. That's it. That's the torture.
Yeah.
That's the total, that's the my skin crawling deal, That's the, I don't want to get out of bed. That's the, completely dominated.
Mm.
And there's nothing wrong with that. Like it's okay, but I found it miserable for me. Miserable. 20 years, 20 plus years of living experience rooted in complete, domination. Thinking I was free. Thinking I could do what I wanted when I wanted, Crazy. Crazy.
So what should we do with this?
With what?
Yeah, with what?
With the show.
What show?
Whatever, whatever. Like I've been sharing all this stuff on Inside the Mind's Eye, but like we want to do something new, right?
Yeah. So let's come up with a title. Like let's come up with a something for our group, right? Start the channel, and then do a weekly or bi-weekly discussion on a topic or topics that we can come up with, and just have a conversation, and then, you know, see what happens with it. And then, you know, invite some people on to the show to ask questions to, and like, you know,
I want to do it live, dressed like we're from the 20s in the Victorian house.
we could have episodes that are that way,
I think we
Okay.
should occasionally do episodes like
like a
that.
costume show.
I want to call it spirituality in the 20s, but I don't like that term. I want to say something else.
Roaring 20s?
The
Yeah, I mean, let's just brainstorm it, right? Like come up with, you know, 5 or 10 titles or whatever, and then we
20s
can,
world.
yeah,
Wait,
we
what?
can discuss it.
I'll send you a link to some costumes that you'll be required to purchase.
So we'll do that. We'll shoot the in-person Roaring 20s in St. Simon's.
Yeah, we can do
Yeah.
that.
All right. This is cool.
Oh, bro. Look at this shit. Hold on. Send it. I'm gonna put something in the.
I gotta pee real quick.
Too late. I already posted the link. He stopped. I saw his feet stop.
Yeah, perfect.
You
It's
like
only
that,
200
Peter?
bucks. Yeah, I'd wear that.
Yeah, I would too.
54 regular, that's a big size.
What size am I? Am I like a 40 regular? How do you know?
You might be like a 38 long.
I got broad shoulders. Is
Yeah,
that
38 or 40 long.
40? No, not long.
You have long arms though.
Not really. I bought like a 40 regular recently and it was too long.
Yeah, I'm a 36 or 38, depending upon the brand.
Hmm.
So I was thinking, I guess I can just publish this onto the Inside the Mind's Eye feed, and we'll let people know where to go once we have the new channel set up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Matter of
So
fact,
you guys want to reconvene in a week
Sure.
if we're still here?
yes.
Okay.
Is this a good time?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's fine.
I guess depends on if I got actual.
Yeah, we can move it around. I mean, I can be flexible. Reed, you just let us know if you got, got something that you got to do.
Okay.
All right, good chat, guys. I'm out.
All right. See you later.
See ya.
Later, dude. This is the special part of the show where we have the After Pete breakdown. After Pete breakdown.
So we have to dress like we're in the 20s.
I'm in, dude.
I posted another link to some cool shit.
You'll help me find this stuff?
Yeah, I just type in 1920s clothing.
Do I have to order it, or are we going to get it when we go to St. Simon's?
We should order it beforehand. I don't know how long it'll take to get. You might have to get things hemmed and stuff. Get like a nice suit.
Oh, so you're saying we're going all in on this.
Yeah, bro. Let's do like, I mean, there's no other way to make our channel stand out.
Dude,
This.
the Peaky Blinders costume, man. I already got the hat.
You like that? Yeah.
Oh my gosh, looks like we're actually doing this. Let me put this on my to-do list, because there's no way I would ever want to, like, this would not occur instinctually and through me.
Uh-huh.
Let's see. Get Peaky Blinders outfit. Nice, dude.
Yeah, I think that would just add that a lot of interest to what we're doing.
Yeah, it'll definitely catch eyes for sure.
You got it. I mean, yeah.
I
just want to treat the 2020s like they're 1920. I want to regularly walk around in 20 style clothing.
Yeah, it's you know, my favorite person on the planet. His name's Review Bra. He reviews food reviews.
Uh-huh.
He
Reviews food reviews.
Yeah, even no wait, he reviews fast food restaurants like McDonald's and Popeyes.
Oh, wait, you sent me something he did, and I was like, that's interesting.
He is, dude, that's his style, dude. All he does is he wears what he wants to wear, man. He has these suits with the cufflinks and everything, and he's like a true individual. He's more from like the early 80s though with his suits. I'm adding these to the bookmarks so I can get them later. How'd you feel? Was it weird being recorded?
No, I didn't think about it. I don't care.
Cool.
It got cold, dude. It was in like the mid-high 70s this past week. It was nice. Went to the beach a few times. And then last night or yesterday, it dropped down to like the 50s. Now it's like it's colder, so I won't be.
Yeah, I had to wear, dude. I stole the scarf from your style game, dude. I'm rocking the scarf now.
Scarves are great.
Man, they're awesome.
They're just the right amount of they just feel really good.
They do. That's the first thing I noticed. I was like, it just feels nice around my neck.
Yep. This feels really nice. And it adds that extra bit. That's the area that gets cold anyway, like the neck, like where your shirt's open.
Yeah.
That's just a little bit of warmth I need without having to put on a second layer. I mean, or a third layer, I guess. Yeah, so it's really weird how much the character's decisions in game have an impact on me.
Yeah, that's what I almost brought up because I didn't know how to describe it. It would have taken more effort to describe it to Peter is what it was.
Yeah.
But yeah, it doesn't make sense because like Khal Drogo, whatever the guy is, he disapproves, and I feel like I fucked up so hard.
Yeah, I found myself no longer feeling freedom to make my own choices, but thinking like, which one of these will my companion like me to say?
Right?
And that that means I totally do it in real life constantly.
Yeah, well, we're concerned with how other people will respond to our behavior.
But I'm not noticing it to the same. I mean, that's going on a deeper level than what's popping up for us visibly, in the game.
Yes. Well, I've had a backwards experience. Like
Feel like you're free from that in real life?
In real life, I feel more free from it than EverQuest or Star Wars games.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. So yeah, I was looking at like